Welcome to the LootCave. Give me just a second while I get my stuff set up. Tell you what, we definitely got some shit to talk about tonight. If this damn thing will ever pop up, come on now. Alright. I guess while we're waiting on this to finally update so that I can continue, I have a confession to make. I swear to you, if you haven't seen it, or if you weren't involved in any kind of way, I swear to you, I did stream last night. And if you wasn't at all a part of it, you don't know. But let's just say I ended up having to delete the stream, the whole almost hour of the stream. Well, I'd say it was like 40 minutes. But I did stream, but I didn't get it just did not end up working out for me. And I will show you why here in just a second, as soon, because I wanted to show off this new idea that I wanted to throw around. It's not original or anything, but I figure it would be a good addition to the stream. So let me just so basically this stream right here right now is literally like a mulligan from last night. Okay. And boom. In my playlist. Oh, I guess I'll do tags. Fuck it. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. That is finally now set up. 3 minutes. 3.5 minutes. Oh, wait. Y'all almost let me forget. Gotta have my green dye. Okay. Okay, now that's done and over with. So, I think I got it all set up over in the other section for those of you watching on YouTube to be able to see this. So, as you know, I have this, right? I got a nice little background. Well, the newest trailer for the Witch Queen Throne World dropped, and I thought, hey, can I add, is there a way I could probably add that to the stream? I did, and let me make sure, where's it at? Okay, it's probably not popping up just yet. Okay, so when I do this, boom, I got the whole aesthetic. Pretty much this is how it was supposed to be. But okay. But if I do, I'm gonna show you what it ended up being.
Guardian.
I literally had it playing like this the entire fucking stream.
Here, Ikora.
Where the video kept playing over and over. I could not hear it
We're
on
in
my
the
end,
domain of the god of cunning.
and I'd never realized that
Things are
there was
never
a
what they
meter on
seem.
here on OBS showing that there was volume. So I had nothing on my end, but you heard it in the stream the entire fucking time. So yeah, you could say I felt like a fucking idiot. So, haha, learned my lesson. There you go. Professor, I see you in my audience. Let's, why not? Let's go ahead and bring you in too. So I'm gonna go ahead and invite you. But yeah, that's basically what happened. And so the entire time that I had this pretty decent looking video going on, I figured I could have it in my background and didn't realize that there was sounds playing. So my bad. So any of you that actually did tune in last night, I do apologize, and that I did not catch that. So now I know that's a thing. Okay. And here we go. First caller of the night is Professor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, good sir. How are you tonight?
I am alive for the
Alive
current,
and for now.
current moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm gonna need a quick recap. I have not yet watched the trailer for Savathun's Throne World. I've seen bits and pieces and clips, but I haven't watched the full thing.
Okay,
I'm
I
assuming
can
looks
actually
pretty dope.
play it. I could play it for you if you like. If you want to go on to YouTube and watch it,
Oh.
you just let me know when you're ready.
I can pull it up here in a second.
Or I mean, you can watch it on your own. I mean, there's 100 videos out there going over.
Can you
it.
still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yes.
All right, I have YouTube open now. You guys are gonna get the live reaction.
Are you going to watch it on my stream, or are you just going to watch it?
Pulling up the official Savathun Throne World trailer on IGN's YouTube.
Sounds good.
There was an ad for a pretty sick game, but I didn't wait to see it.
Uh-huh.
Can't wait for that glaive.
Right, right.
That's gonna be pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that glaive too.
Some new assets, some reused assets, but it looks pretty cool. The Hive Guardians, we knew about those.
Yeah. From the
Savathun's character model's pretty sick.
right, yeah. Yeah. But I got a feeling this ain't gonna be like a one and done type of deal like Deep Stone. Not Deep Stone. Beyond Light. I don't think it's gonna be kind of that same
So
thing.
seeing the variety of assets that they've shown in this 1.5-minute trailer, my guess is not only the main, Witch Queen DLC, but all of the seasons for the next year are going to take place in Savathun's Throne World, and it's going to revolve heavily around Savathun's Throne World.
You see, I was thinking that the Throne World was actually going to be like a dungeon, but I think it's actually going to be like a destination, like a
I
whole
think it's
ass
gonna be.
destination.
I think it's gonna be a destination, and some people may be like, "Wow, that's a pretty fucking big destination." But if you think about the moon and all of the little underworkings that you can go through and explore in the moon's a pretty big destination too.
Well, just think of also you got the damn oh, I can't Europa. I mean, it's
Yeah,
big and open.
Europa's pretty big too.
Yeah. So I kind of wonder if that's what this is, if it's going to be like an actual destination, or is it going to be like, is it something that we'll access maybe through the Dreaming City?
So there is a little piece of something, because I'm the kind of person that knows a little bit about a lot and a whole lot of nothing. On one of the characters' armors, as they're running in that trailer, there is a weird, like, swirly looking symbol. You know what I'm kind of talking about? It was on like the hunter's knee pad or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, it looks kind of like a bunch of lines in like a swirl almost. Like I don't have a good description for what it's called.
They're basically pointing that to alchemy. That those are symbols of alchemy.
Well, so you know a little bit about lore, right? You know how the different hive, you know, things are like called like different metals, and so
yeah,
that symbol is the alchemical symbol for osmium.
Yes.
So osmium, the current throne is the osmium throne. You know, I think that was more just like a little nod towards the lore, which I think that's a cool little addition, you know, that they're throwing some little lore references into the designs of the armor.
Right. But at the same time, like if you ever get a chance, Astrocross actually put out a video kind of breaking all that down. It was, well, he had another guy that he's kind of like the Sherlock Holmes of these kind of things, and I can't remember his name. I only seen his name that one time, but it was actually like really in depth on what they're putting into this. It's like the whole alchemy type of witchcraft stuff. It's like, what? I mean,
it's very
Bungie gets deep with this shit,
depth.
man.
But I mean, it's a fitting style for, you know, an entire DLC focused around the hive, because the hive has always been very ritualistic and, you know, lean towards the magical and alchemical side of things, you know?
Right.
So I think they're kind of leaning into what the hive race already kind of had going for it, and I think they just did what the smartest move was and just leaned into that a little bit more, and I think it looks really good. The armor looks super cool. The weapons, the little bit of them that you get to see, look pretty neat. I think it's really gonna boil down to new perks, because we're gonna get new perks. There's no way they release a major DLC and don't give us any new weapon perks.
Well, we also got the whole weapon crafting and everything, so
true. I still wait to see what that looks like. They've kept that very close to the vest.
Yeah, like they haven't given us like hardly any information.
Yeah, there hasn't even been, like, that is a very well kept secret at Bungie right now. There haven't even been any remote leaks of what the weapon crafting system is going to look like.
Well, they're speculating that it could look a lot like through a system that we already see, like through somebody pointed out, like, you know how like on a third-party app on your phone, and it shows you like all the perks that could come with
all the
that weapon.
possible roles. I don't think that's how they're
Yeah.
gonna do it. I think it's gonna be a more refined system, similar to something like we saw in Season of the Hunt. You remember Season of the Hunt?
Yeah.
It was a style of weapon crafting. I think it's going to be a more refined version of something like that. I still don't think it's going to be something where they just straight up let you choose your perks. I think there's still going to be some RNG involved in it. But I don't think it's gonna be something similar to like what we see on like Little Light or something, where it shows you all of the possible roles that a weapon can have. I think it's just gonna be a more refined version of a system that we've already seen in the game.
Or maybe like in D1. You remember how the weapon rolls in D1?
I didn't play a lot of D1, so.
But can you kind of like get an idea, like you actually leveled the weapon up and you unlock those certain perks, and you can kind of pick and choose which perks you want with that particular weapon.
Maybe that
but you
might
had like
be,
but you had like a
okay.
whole slew of weapon perks.
That
like,
might be a possibility. I could see that being a possibility, because that, for one, it gives us something to use our glimmer on.
True.
Because aside from switching mods around in your armor, and if you're a big time player of Destiny that plays a fucking lot of Destiny, you're gonna have like multiple armor sets that you can just swap out on a whim, instead of having to switch around all of your mods every time you load into a new activity. You can just throw a new armor piece on.
Well, they actually made it where it's a lot easier. They don't have cost for weapon or like mods. You can swap around your mods on the same armor piece, and it won't cost you anything.
Oh, it doesn't cost glimmer anymore.
Nope, it don't cost anything. Like for like materials and shit that they used to charge you for it. No, not anymore.
That's good, because that used to be mad annoying, because I'd go broke within the first couple of weeks. As far as glimmer goes, I'd go broke in the first couple of weeks of a new DLC or season.
I think it still costs to like move or change perks like on your ghost, but it's like just like glimmer, and
yeah,
that's about it. Like nothing extravagant. It was mainly like
that makes sense. That makes sense, because the ghost, that's where you have like, you can literally slot a mod in there that gives you like a 16% boost to your XP or something. So of course they're gonna want you to, spend a little bit of materials to make that work, instead of just being able to swap that around on a whim.
Plus, you're not really swapping around all that much. You might be swapping around like to get extra legendary drops at the end of whatever activity.
Even then, you can hold 10 total ghost shells in your inventory, and it doesn't cost anything but a couple of enhancement material. Like, you don't need to get it to a 10 energy ghost shell. You don't need an ascendant shard for that.
Yeah.
And they've added plenty of other ways to grind the upgrade materials, so it's not a huge thing. You can have 10 ghosts in your inventory that are 10 energy and have all the perks you want on them. Well, and just swap those out. Like that's not a huge thing.
No. Now I did have a stream the other night. I didn't get to have the pleasure to communicate this with anybody, but I went in and talked about it. But when we're going back to like weapon crafting, and I asked, should weapon crafting be put behind a paywall? And I'm not the first one to ask this question. I know.
I saw your video that was labeled that, and I didn't get a chance to watch it.
But I was thinking, like, and what I mean by that is you would have to own the current DLC, not season, but the DLC, like what they did with Trials.
Okay, so all right, so here's what I think. I think, for one, yes, sort of, but so like the current DLC, I wouldn't say necessarily the current season, because I think the weapon crafting is going to be pretty much limited to the new DLC weapons.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like, I don't see them throwing like whatever the current like what is it? It's like an auto rifle or some BS for fucking Crucible.
Right.
Like, I don't see them like taking the next like Gambit or Crucible or Vanguard weapon and throwing that into the weapon crafting pool. I think it's going to be a lot more based around the DLC weapons that are coming out.
Well,
Possibly
as I understand it,
weapons we get, but
I understand like crafting is going to be for all weapons, not just specific weapons. Because they even showed in the video when we had the awards and Bungie put out their video during that time, and it showed while they're standing in front of the crafting table that there were the guardians that were swapping around like with all the already existing weapons. So like you could literally take the gnawing hunger and then weapon craft it, like whatever one that's not sunset.
I don't know, man. I think if they actually do that, I think that's Bungie dipping their toes a little bit too far into the water on that.
So let's say
I don't think it's necessarily a good idea to add basically every weapon in the game to weapon crafting, because so then like your time lost Fatebringer that you went and grinded for, right? If you can take any existing weapon and weapon craft it, which I assume probably like raid weapons or like dungeon specific weapons, they might not do that with. But even then, like, you know, you've grinded and it's the same thing as like when they made Mountaintop like super easy to get after people already spent hours and hours and hours grinding to get Mountaintop.
Yeah.
It loses. Then you have a portion of the player base that spent all that time grinding to get those really good weapon rolls, and now anybody in the game that has access to that weapon crafting can just go, and I can just throw my gnawing hunger in there and just choose what perk set that I want to get, and then go through my whole, you know, quest stages or however they do it to get that weapon roll. And then compared to someone that, you know, grinded 40 hours a Gambit to get their perfect rolled gnawing hunger, now I have to do, what, hour and a half, 2 hours a quest, and I have the same exact weapon, same exact roll. That's why I think there's going to be for one, there's going to be some RNG involved in the weapon crafting. I don't think it's just going to be you pick exactly what perks you get and then go do a quest and there's your weapon. I think it's gonna be something that is repeatedly farmable,
but you still have to work towards it.
Yeah, you can, like I said, something similar to how like Season of the Hunt weapon crafting was, where you...
Well, that's kind of like selecting random roll. We already kind of have that. Then, like, what would be the point of having?
I think it's gonna be a more refined version of that, because if you remember the Season of the Hunt and the different mods you use to do your weapon crafting, it didn't say this mod, if you use this mod, you will get Kill Clip or Dragonfly on your weapon. It was, if you use this mod, you won't get one or two of the like 6 or 7 perks that you can get on the weapon in that slot. And I think it's going to be the opposite, like I first said, where you go and you choose, and it's a list of like 3 or 4 different things that you can roll in that slot, instead of just specifically choosing, like, I want a Kill Clip Rampage auto rifle. Like, instead of just being able to absolutely choose what perks you want on it, I think it's going to be something where it's still got variety, but it greatly lessens the chance of getting a roll that you're not going to like, or a roll that you don't want. Does that make sense?
Right. So we're gonna stack on like RNG, and
it's gonna be weapon crafting, but it's not gonna be
and leveling your weapon too.
It's not gonna be weapon crafting in the way that people want it to be, because people want a system where they can pick a weapon, and I want whatever sight, whatever barrel, ricochet rounds, you know, feeding frenzy, kill clip. That's not how it's gonna work. They're not gonna be able to just choose exactly what they have on their weapon. It's just gonna be I think it's just gonna be a more refined system of something that we've already seen, and just limit the possibilities. Familiar. Yeah, it's gonna be something similar to something we've already seen, so there's some familiarity with it, and we're not learning an entirely new system, but you still get to limit the number of different roles you might get, so that you still have a pretty high chance of getting a role that you want or that you like.
My biggest fear would be setting it up like Warframe, like where like all you do is grind for, instead of weapons, you grind for weapon parts, and then
I don't think they'll do that,
forge your weapons over time.
I don't think they'll do that, because I think Bungie can already see the flaws with a system like that.
I would hope so.
because that's one of Warframe's big downfalls. I can go and I can play Warframe, and I can grind for 16 hours to get the 3 different weapon parts I need to craft this weapon, and then I start crafting it,
and it takes you like 2 days.
It's got a 16-hour craft time, so I have to wait till the next fucking day before I can even use the weapon that I just spent 16 hours grinding for.
It's almost like those mobile games that do that shit. Like, you get everything that you need, and then you gotta build that whatever it is, and then there's a timer, and it takes however long to get it down. Unless if you spend the time, the money to get the speed ups and shit like that.
I'm not trying to lessen your opinion on it, but I think that fear is a fear that may not be founded in a very solid reality, man. I think the big fear that you should have is that Bungie does exactly what I said I don't think they're gonna do, and they just let people choose exactly what they want their weapon to have on it.
So basically, they get to choose. Basically, everybody who's running around with God rolls the same weapon perks and everything. I don't know.
Exactly.
The way that they,
that would be a poor way to do it.
The way that they described it, it was more like you can actually set the weapon up to your own playstyle, like how you play. You know, it depends on like what you like. Like me, for example, I like things that go boom. I like things that explode. Like I like Dragonfly, and then
so I think that when it comes to the weapon crafting, so when you go and you like get to choose what your first slot and your second slot perks on the weapon are, right? I think it's gonna be a list of options on the first slot. I want add control perks, or I want damage increasing perks, or I want, you know, stability enhancing perks, you know, like weapon enhancement perks. And then on the second slot, it's, you know, I want reloading perks, or I want, you know, the different kind of perks. Because like reloading perks, we've got, you know, Outlaw, we've got Feeding Frenzy, we've got a couple of other ones now.
Yeah.
I will. Oh.
Hey Chris, how you doing tonight? Chris says that he thinks it's going to be a whole new system, period, with limitations.
And that's a good possibility. I think for familiarity's sake. Oh. Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Okay. It's a good possibility that it might be a completely new system. I just think for familiarity's sake, and so they're not introducing a completely new system, that not only veteran players, but all of the new light players that just learned all of the old systems. I think they're gonna add something that is based off of an old system or like an old UI, so that we're not having to all learn as an entire player base an entire new UI or weapon crafting system.
Right. Well, I guess the only way we could find out is we'll just have to wait to see.
Pretty much. Like I said, that's a secret that they've kept close to the vest, very well guarded.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's it'll definitely be interesting.
That it will.
Yeah, I think I do agree, Chris. But also I like to see what's yeah. I also when it comes to like the next the season. Ugh, English is hard. When it comes to the next season, you know, I'm kind of wondering what they're going to implement with that as well, because you know, when we get a new DLC, we get, you know, blasted with a new season as well, so you got all this content.
Well, they usually give us a little bit of breathing room between the drop of a DLC and the drop of a season, though.
I figured it was day one, like you got both.
No,
but
because
they moved the raid. Like if they give us a new raid, they push the raid down the road a little bit.
No, because with Beyond Light, and what was the first season of this year?
I think it was
it
Season of the Hunt?
Was it? Yeah, because it was Season of the Hunt, and then we got the Helm the next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it didn't launch, like Beyond Light launched, and then we grinded the Beyond Light stuff for, you know, like a month or something, and then
I think you're right. Yeah.
Season of the Hunt dropped.
Yeah. There's have we
they
seen
give
a
us a little
roadmap
bit
yet
of breathing room.
For this next DLC? I haven't seen a roadmap yet. I mean, we have our roadmap for now, but we haven't seen a roadmap yet.
Let me look. No.
My phone is about dead, so yeah, like.
Oh no! So I think since they pushed the launch date of Witch Queen back, Witch Queen and the new season are going to be launching at the same time, because it says Witch Queen launches February 22nd of this year, and it also says that Season of Redacted begins February 2nd of this year. So I think because they pushed, so I think since they had to push Witch Queen back, they're going to launch them at the same time.
It's gonna be a lot. I already told myself I'm taking 3 days off, the day before, the day of, and day after. So, that's gonna be crazy. Because there's gonna be I got it. There's gonna be a lot of shit to do. But they also said it's not gonna be Forsaken level kind of content either.
It does not say. I can't see. I don't see anything.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure they haven't actually dropped a roadmap just yet. So, but don't they usually drop a roadmap on us? I thought it was like a couple months before.
Now. We usually have one by now, but I think they're keeping everything pretty close to the vest on this.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. It's weird. Now, what do you think about the? I was kind of speculating when watching the video. I was kind of speculating to see what it's going to be like to go up against the Hive Guardians, and if it's going to be like a lot of the same, like with the champions. Kind of wonder if it's going to be a lot like that, or if it's just going to be something completely different. And then I got another thing I want to bring up, but I want you to answer that.
So the Hive Guardians, I don't think it's going to be a champion style system because we already have the champion system in place, you know? I think it's literally just 3 bosses for the storyline.
Right, probably. Just like actual kind of like Forsaken, where we had the what were they called?
Yeah, we had the different
outlaws or whatever that we had to chase down.
God, what in the fuck were
they called?
Jesus
oh my god!
Christ.
What was that, like 7 years ago or some shit?
Oh my god, that's like
I can't.
2 almost 3 years ago now.
Somebody help us.
That's like 3 years ago, man. Because we're coming up on the next content drop, and so it's been all of Beyond Light and all of Shadowkeep and all 3 seasons that were after fucking Forsaken. Oh man, I really can't think of what I know who you're talking about. I really can't think of what they were called though. They were called the race is called the Scorn.
Yeah, but
what were they called though?
You gotta Google
Barons.
Barons. Say yes. The fucking Barons.
Scorn Barons. That's what it was.
I feel like it's been like forever ago. Oh my god.
I feel like I just had a stroke, man. But
bro,
I think it's gonna be something.
Is it gonna be like the Barons? Like they're just gonna be like boss?
Something similar to. I think it's gonna be something similar to what the Scorn Barons were. Where it winds up to a big final boss fight. I think the difference between this one and like Beyond Light, we're not killing Savathun at the end of the Witch Queen like DLC main story. That's not happening, because if they do that, that is just a poor story decision on Bungie's part.
There's no way. There would be
Savathun is a big enough bad that she can be an entire raid boss.
But how long is it? I wonder if we even end up killing her in Witch Queen. It could be after.
I wonder if we end up killing her at all.
Man, I need to get educated on the damn lore. That's what I need to do. I need to find me a lore nerd to explain it to me, to educate me.
Listen, I know you have some free time.
Yeah, right.
My name is Bife. Go watch his like 9-hour Destiny lore video, okay?
I did. I watched it. All right. Well, I haven't watched it.
If you want to just brush up on like the Hive lore, since that's what's gonna be relevant, My Name is Bife has like an hour and a half long video that goes over the entirety of the Hive lore.
Damn. Yeah, I think that would be something good I could do. At least that would give me a little bit of education on it.
You know, you've got almost a month until you've got a few weeks until Witch Queen drops. You don't have to have it done like right now, but
But I want to know right
to get
now.
you've got a few weeks to get yourself through that video. The Hive have some extremely interesting lore.
I hear that they're like, it's like one of the best.
But I think it's a good possibility that we don't kill Savathun at all. I think it's a good possibility that we actually do end up teaming up with Savathun, just like we have with the Elixni, just like we have with the Cabal. You know, we've got a truce agreement with Kyle.
But for what? Then who's going to be Fallen? Who's going to be the agitator then? Who's going to be the actual baddie, the one that we're not?
The pyramids.
But
Lightfall,
okay,
they have a whole nother DLC planned. Lightfall is a whole nother DLC that they have planned. It is completely possible that we end up on like a big all-out battlefield against like the Vex and the Pyramids, and teaming up with some Hive and some Fallen and some Cabal and just smacking some shit up in that DLC, man. I think that would be a great way for them to go. Because I just feel like that'd be a great story for them to have.
Yeah. But the funny part is that the whole thing with Savathun, she's basically, you know, the queen of lies. So is she going to be with us or against us? It's the problem here. We don't know.
Obviously, we can tell at this point everything that she has done this most current season has been to manipulate us and get us to where she wants us to be. I think that because man, what's his name? The guy on the Leviathan.
Callus has had a direct interaction with the darkness, and he upped and moved his entire planet-eating ship way the hell away from us because the darkness is on its way. Chris says, I think we're gonna kill her personally. It only makes sense that moving on to light than the end of Destiny 2.
I think it's a possibility, but I want to have the option open for a Destiny 3 or a Destiny style MMORPG that they release where I can play as a light wielding Elixni or a light wielding Cabal or a light wielding Hive. I would like to see a big like Hobbit, like Battle of the Five Armies moment where all of the people that have their own little individual quells come together to defeat a bigger threat. I feel like that would be huge.
Yeah, but it's not going to be that long from now, but I mean, it'll sneak up on us before we know it. But we got a while before any of that comes about, and we don't know how it's going to continue beyond Final Shape, because we got Lightfall, and then we'll have Final Shape, and then what comes after? What's after that? Apparently, there's still more to it, but we don't know what it is. They just drop Destiny 2 altogether after that?
I don't think that's a possibility. I don't think that they just drop Destiny 2 as a franchise. I know that they have another IP in the works. Word has gone around that a little bit for the last year or so, that they have another IP in the works, but
But it's not
There's been
Destiny
no
related.
They've said that it's not Destiny related, but I don't see them up and giving up on Destiny 2 and just letting Destiny 2 just be. Like, I don't think there's gonna be an end of Destiny 2 because they've stated before that they don't necessarily want to end it. They want to have this active world that we're all a part of that is continuously evolving for like years and years to come. Good point, but I don't see that. We dislike Savathun so much more than any other foe we've had.
Yeah.
I mean,
But she's
point.
deceiving. That's
That's
the
a
whole
good
thing.
point.
You don't know
She-
is she with us or against us? Did she take our light from us? How did she take the light? Like, these are questions I need answers. Like, we need these answers.
I don't think that, because obviously going into Witch Queen, it's not like she stole our light from us like the Hive have done before in the past. We've seen it in strikes. The purple Hive crystals are literally light that they have ripped out of Guardians. I don't think it's gonna be something like that.
What was that weapon that we had to go do that stupid strike? Me and you used to run it all the time.
You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of it.
Oh my god. I know exactly.
You know exactly what strike I'm talking about. It was on those. There were the purple crystals. Taker 3. That's how Taker 3 died. They ripped the fucking light out of her. That's not what it seems like she did right here. I think for good or bad, I think she's gonna die. And don't forget Pyramids people and their true origins. We haven't even scraped the iceberg on them yet. That's true. But the reason I think Savathun still holds the possibility of becoming an ally for us is because it very much seems to me like her creating these air quotes Hive Guardians isn't coming from a place of wanting to necessarily overthrow the Guardians, but maybe Savathun has had direct contact with the darkness just like Callus did, but she has a way to give her people a way to fight back, and maybe honestly, not a popular opinion, but maybe we're the bad guys on this one. Maybe the Guardians are acting from a place of pride, as, you know, like the Elixni did. Why the Traveler abandoned the Elixni? They thought that they were better because the Traveler chose them. And I think maybe
I have actually heard that analogy, like that the other enemies that we find perceived as our enemies, they're no different than us. Like, the Traveler has come and gone in their times.
That's why the Fallen follow the Traveler and they, like, you know, get ether, because, like, the light from the Traveler is what used to be their sustenance, and now they've resorted to, you know, having to use machines to make, like, artificial light. That's what ether is.
Yeah.
But they haven't perfected it in that way to such a form that they can get their powers back. But the Traveler left them possibly because they got a big head about it and they thought that they were just better. And the reason that it didn't work out for what's-his-face during Red War, Scrotum Face, I can't remember his name. That's been ages ago too.
The Red War.
The big Cabal dude, main boss for the main Destiny 2 campaign. I can't remember his fucking name. Gaul, yeah.
Gary! Chris asks, what if the Traveler is actually bad?
And that's something that has been tossed around before. I think the way in which the darkness has contacted us and tried to speak to us, and it seems very much like they're trying to poison our minds and question what we know. I think it's almost definitive to say that the pyramids and the darkness, if that's what you want to call it for now, are definitely the bad guys.
But how can you tell if they might be the bad guys?
Not even on the good side, just using us to eliminate the competition.
Because, like,
also,
well, you can't have light without dark, right?
It's two sides of the same coin. There's not necessarily a good or a bad. I think it's just the darkness has a more evil-ish approach towards contacting us, whereas the Traveler works in mysterious ways. But like I was saying, I think maybe the Traveler left the Elixir and turned them into the Fallen because, they got to a point where they thought they were better, and the Traveler literally rejected Gaul because Gaul saw it as he should, the Cabal should have the light because they showed that they were stronger, that they were better than humanity.
Right.
Because by all means, listen, if we had not managed to keep our light, humanity would have been done for. It was one tiny little loophole in everything, If that shard of the Traveler hadn't been out in the middle of the fucking woods with a little bit of light left in it, we never would have retaken the city. We never would have gotten rid of Gaul.
Yeah, but the deception, though. Think about the deception.
I think
because, even the speaker, he was presented as if he spoke to the Traveler, but he only really speaks for the Traveler.
He never, but you see,
he would speak to the Traveler, but the Traveler never spoke to him.
I remember a lot of the speaker's voice lines, and I never remember the speaker saying that the Traveler spoke to him. He said he spoke to and spoke for the Traveler.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. No. I'm saying that. That's what I'm saying.
We came to our own. I just want to say humanity came to their own fucking conclusions on that. They, if they jumped to the conclusion that the Traveler was talking to him, that's kind of on them.
I mean, we see that. We see all kinds of people like that in the real world, right?
Yeah, we're not gonna. That's a touchy subject.
Yeah, right. But we
talk to the trees. That's a real relaxed moment. He never said the trees speak to him. He just said he speaks to the trees. Okay. But I don't see. I really do think. I think Savathun seems like a very bad person, yes. And that's how Savathun has been portrayed, as this very deceitful, bad entity. But I really, truly think that this Hive Guardian thing, I think us as the Guardians might be in the wrong on this one. I think that it is literally just Savathun acting from a place of pure survival instinct.
All right, but let's put this together. Answer me this.
Okay.
Her worm. If we're at the point where we're going to literally pull the worm out of her, right?
Yep.
Can her worm physically take her shape? And then that's the deception. Or is the worm like its own entity that's almost like a parasite within the Thrall lore? Obviously, I need to get educated.
The worm is more like a parasite. So, Zol, back on Mars, I see the argument there, but at the same time, the Traveler brings darkness everywhere it goes. If it was an elf, we wouldn't have harnessed stasis. I don't. I see where you're coming from there, Chris. I don't think it's necessarily a matter of us harnessing stasis. If you look at it as we are already a being that is used to having immense amounts of power channeled through us via light and via the Traveler, and so stasis and the new subclass we're gonna get, because you can't convince me otherwise, stasis is just a different kind of power.
Yeah, but it seemed like the darkness basically handed it over, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it was a gift to us.
By
It was
the
a gift
darkness,
to us.
by the pyramids.
Okay, and
What?
again, if you're so right, all right, you're playing a double agent and you want to get in with the people that you're trying to like infiltrate and like corrupt their minds, right? You don't
Right.
come bearing weapons, you come bearing gifts.
Okay.
If you want to earn somebody's trust,
So
you're
we
not going to
use state. They're going to give us
if-
stasis to take
if
out
you
their
want
like
to-
their enemies.
if-
Like,
if you want to earn somebody's trust, you don't show up at their front door with an AK-47 locked and loaded, ready to fucking go on whoever, right?
well, you don't know me, Ian. I'm just kidding.
For the most, like, you know, welcome to the neighborhood. I'm not gonna show up as, you know, the person in the neighborhood. I'm gonna show up at their house locked and loaded, ready for full fucking combat. Because they're not gonna trust me. I'm gonna look like a psychopath. But if I come
Just a
bearing
little bit.
gifts and like housewarming gifts, you know, I could be the most deceitful, shitty person on the block. But in that first moment where they first meet me and I come bearing gifts, they are more likely to trust me.
Mm.
And I think it's the same way with the darkness. I think that's exactly what stasis was. I think stasis was just a gift to try to get on our good side so that we put up less of a fight when the darkness, when these pyramids actually show up full of combatants ready to wreck some shit on us.
Right. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, not to make a hard left turn here, but
Make
and I
our
know
left turn.
I know Chris, he doesn't like PvP, but when it comes to Witch Queen, in order to, because I don't think that now thinking about it, I don't think these the Hive Guardians that we're going to fight, I don't think they're going to be like the Barons. I think they're going to be like almost like what the champions, because you have to go up and the only way to kill them is to destroy their ghost. So, but that being said, I think we should Bungie.
I see that more. I see that argument as more of an argument for them being bosses or even reoccurring bosses. You know, not necessarily something like the Barons were, where we killed them and then it was done with.
Yeah, because you never really
except-
see it unless if you do the strikes again or something. But like
I think that's more of a thing for them to be reoccurring villains, or again, kind of like my theory with Savathun, we might not ever kill them at all. That might become, you know, another ally, another weapon at our disposal to fight the darkness when they inevitably show up.
well, I gotta, like I said, not to make the hardest left turn of my life here, but PvP, I think it would be really cool to play. Bungie should make a game mode implementing the crushing ghosts part. That's how you eliminate the guardian out of the game, like almost like elimination, but instead of like lives,
Kind of like,
the only way that you can stop that guardian from respawning at all is crushing their ghost, just
Kinda
like what we
a,
do in Witch Queen.
Kind of like a kill confirmed style of game mode, where like you kill somebody and then you have to walk up and like press or hold a button on their ghost to kill them, and like take
Almost
them
like
out
a
of the game.
finisher. Probably like a lot like a finisher. But I think that would be really cool for a PvP mode.
That'd be interesting. I don't know how they'd implement it very well. Chris says the Hive are harsh. The Hive are harsh, but the Hive are harsh because of their belief system. The sword logic, that is their belief system. The strong prevail and the strong get stronger.
Yeah, literally the weak die off. It's crazy. Because I heard a little bit about the sword logic and oh my god. It's crazy.
Like, it's a real thing, and it's like it's their actual belief system is the sword logic. That's why they're such a harsh race, is because like humanity, we show compassion for people that aren't light bearers. We show compassion for them, so they seem really harsh in comparison to us, but it's like the Hive have accepted the harshest form of like natural selection, because that's exactly what natural selection is. The weak die and the strong prevail.
Yeah.
And so it seems really harsh, but that's kind of how the truth is. The truth is harsh. That doesn't necessarily make it the enemy or something that you should hate or be afraid of. It just means it's not always something that you're gonna like. And I think that is a wonderful mindset that I just came to about the Hive, that their natural selection just physically embodied. The strong prevail and the weak die, and that's what they believe. And
so with sword logic, with that being the case, every Hive we kill, who's getting stronger? Right?
If you follow the sword logic, we are.
No, that would be whoever's a Hive.
No, the sword logic is so. Pit of Heresy, right? Pit of Heresy is a giant arena that they made, basically a giant temple for the sword logic. The giant Crota's grandkid that was at the end of it was the champion of champions on the moon. He was the strongest of the Hive on the moon. And he got there by killing every other Hive that he went up against. That's why Throne Worlds work the way they do. You know, that's why like Morosov's Throne World is so immensely huge, and that's why Savathun's Throne World is so immensely huge, is because they have bested and killed so many things. And that's how the Throne Worlds work.
Right.
And that's how the sword logic works, is if you and someone else fight and you kill them, you get stronger. And you get better.
Thinking it was like how we were talking, the weak die, that's how sword logic works with the Hive. The weak die, those who are at the top get stronger. So every time I go and smack the piss out of some thrall and he dies, someone's getting strong every time I do this.
But that's no, it's not like a reverse cascading effect, like where when you kill the grunts, the general gets stronger.
Right.
What it is if a general and a different general face off against each other, the weak is gonna die, and the strong is just going to get stronger. Is how the sword logic is how the sword logic works.
And is that the reason why, like when it came to oh, god damn it, Rhoda and the sisters, right?
Or the sisters. What
no,
do you mean?
not Crota.
Oryx
and his sisters, right? They were I guess within the Thrall lore, they would show their love by killing each other. Kind of, is that maybe I'm getting this all mixed up.
That's
I wonder if that's something like that, like they're making each other stronger by doing so.
That's basically how it is, you know, like, because Oryx got to be so powerful because he fought his way up and he defeated so many different hive that wanted to try to challenge him. And
Right.
Savathun didn't do it the way Oryx did. Oryx was a lot more direct in the way he did it, and Savathun has always been a little more deceitful in the ways that she has bested people.
Right.
But it's the same concept. That's how the sword logic works. If I'm a hive and I fight another hive because they think they're stronger than me and I kill them, I get stronger because I was stronger to begin with. The weak die and the strong get stronger.
Okay. So that
So it's not a reverse cascading effect like you were thinking of it. Like I said, it's not like we're killing a bunch of Thrall and like Savathun's just getting uber duper powerful.
right, because it's like I'm gonna stop playing that activities. You know, I think we're like hurting ourselves here.
I'm gonna stop going and smacking the shit out of Thrall. No,
I'm gonna stay out of Gambit. I'm gonna stay away from Hive altogether because Savathun is going to clap my cheeks if I don't.
You can go smack the shit out of all the Thrall you want to. Come on.
Hell yeah, let's go.
You can go smack the shit out of all the Thrall you want to. It is not gonna make anybody stronger.
Okay.
It's just if we subscribed to the same belief and submitted ourselves to the sword logic, that's how it would work, is we would get stronger the more of our opponents we kill.
So maybe survive the truth. What if maybe that's what we end up doing?
Maybe it's a possibility. I don't see a good way for them to implement that into actual gameplay, you know, like where when we kill stuff we get stronger. I don't see a good way for them to implement that unless they
through
gave
like
us
corruption. Like people are thinking like we're gonna get like we got stasis news, you know, like we're gonna have 3 dark supers.
Subclass for sure.
Well, we're not getting any like within this year. It won't probably be until we won't get the next one until Lightfall
this year. I'll put money on it. I put money that we
won't get one this year. I don't think so.
I put money on us getting one this year.
Not until Lightfall.
Nope,
I don't think we'll get one until Lightfall.
Put money on us getting one this year, man.
Before Lightfall. Before the next DLC. Within one of the next 4. Within Witch Queen.
With Witch Queen or within the 4 coinciding seasons? What is
But they're reworking the light subclasses.
They are reworking the light subclasses. That doesn't necessarily mean that they can't or won't add a new one. Chris says, clap them cheeks for real, but what does the damn Scorn have to do with Savathun? Alright, so what the Scorn have to do with Savathun is a long, complicated story because the Scorn don't have a whole lot of anything to do with Savathun.
But really, it's the Scorn or Hive that was
No, they weren't.
that Aldrin,
They were
like he was
fallen.
a part of. No, yeah, you're right. Fallen.
They
No,
were
there was
fallen.
they were Hive.
No, they were not. They were fallen. They had 6 arms, bro.
The Scorn.
The Scorn are fallen.
I'm sorry,
Aldrin
but
saw
the Scorn that I'm fighting. No, yeah, you're right. No, wait.
the Scorn Barons were in the Prison of Elders with Aldrin Sov.
Yeah.
Aldrin Sov turned them into Scorn by giving them ether that had been corrupted with darkness or
Right.
something. Aldrin was being mind controlled and led astray by Savathun to open the
Oh.
Dreaming City so that Savathun could access the Dreaming City.
You know what I'm getting confused of? I'm getting not the I'm
Yeah.
getting the Scorn and the
The weird moon hive.
yeah, the weird moon hive. That's what I'm getting confused of from God, I act like I don't even play the fucking game. And shut up, Chris. I'm not getting old. He says you getting old, Arma. Okay, yeah, because the Scorn were introduced during the Forsaken DLC, and then we had Shadowkeep, that was
The weird moon hive.
they have a name. Why
I don't
am
think they do.
drawing such a fucking blank? It might just be like Nightmares, Nightmare Hive, maybe,
Nightmares? The Nightmares.
because that's when the Nightmares came around.
That was when the Nightmares came around, but the Nightmares were manifestations that the darkness made, that the darkness on the ship like made.
What's good, Snows? Yeah, yeah. I swear I'm having like brain farts in my life right now. Like, holy crap. But yeah. Anyways, let's move on from that topic.
All right.
Don't want to make myself look too much more like an idiot. The TWAB will be, or I think we should be getting a TWAB tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I kind of, I wonder if they're going to actually start dropping some hints on the whole, what's coming in Witch Queen, you know.
I don't know that they will, man. They've kept everything about Witch Queen really close to the vest, and I think they're gonna keep it that way. I think they really want I think with the amount of time and with the fact that they pushed Witch Queen back, I think they want Witch Queen to be a surprise for the player base. I think they want us to be really truly astounded by the work and effort that they put into Witch Queen.
Right. Well, let's not forget about the whole, you know, like data miners and shit like that. They pick up shit all the time.
Right.
I don't know if they made it any harder to be able to data mine, but publicly, yeah, Bungie has definitely kept a lot of shit close to the chest. Like I mean, hell, we still haven't, like I was saying earlier, we still haven't gotten a roadmap. And I swear we have gotten one by this time.
What about the marathon guy in D2? Think he's coming soon? I have no idea what Chris is talking about with that.
What about the marathon guy in D2? You may have to elaborate a little bit there, Chris. Marathon guy. I don't know. I can't think of it. I'm sure he'll explain it.
But like you were saying, as far as like data mining goes, the reason we haven't really heard anything from the data miners and like the data mining community is because they haven't added any of the files pertaining to Witch Queen to. He's a Destiny 2 myth from the lore books. I don't know anything about that. I haven't read any of the new lore books.
I think I know what he's talking about. No.
It's hard to explain. I'll look it up, Chris, and next time I'll touch on it. I'll look into it.
I don't.
And next time we'll touch on the marathon guy.
No, I'm thinking of something else. I must be thinking a completely different game. Because like what the hell was I playing? Because there was like a shadowy figure that would pop up but nobody knows or can explain. And if you try to get close to him, he just disappears. I think that was Valheim. I think that's what that was. It was some random shit. It was like, whoa, what the fuck? Why are you here? And then it just disappears. And nobody knows what that's all about. But yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look into it. Next time we'll touch on the marathon guy.
Marathon guy. I haven't heard that one.
Neither have I. I'll look into it.
Damn, Chris. I didn't know you were deep into lore, man. That's crazy.
We haven't heard anything from the data mining community because they haven't preloaded any of the files for Witch Queen into the game. So like when Witch Queen drops, it's gonna be a huge fucking download that everybody is gonna have to download. They haven't preloaded any of the files because in the past, that's where the big data leaks have come from, is when they try to preload files into the game, people will data mine through all of the files in the game to see what they're adding. And that's where a lot of our big leaks will come. And so that's why our big DLC downloads have been such big downloads here recently in the last couple of years, because they're trying to, they can't just keep preloading files because people do just data mine the information out of them.
Right.
So that's why we haven't heard anything from the data mining community. They added some files pertaining to possibly an end of season event. Like they've done in the past, some sort of live event or possibly cutscene that we get at the end of the season. They've loaded some files in for that, pertaining to that anyways, but we haven't really seen much of anything on it. Right. We've got like a file name associated with it, and I can't even remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. We're about an hour and 20 minutes, which is amazing for the fact that last night, did you hear what I was saying earlier? I streamed for like 40 minutes and ended up having to delete the entire stream. I felt like such a fucking idiot. But I'm glad that I learned my lesson early. And now I know to keep an eye out for that kind of shit for in the future.
Okay. I know what Chris was talking about now. All right. We'll touch on it next time.
Well, I'll have probably going to be discussing in the TWAP tomorrow night.
Sounds good.
So, but I do and once again, he saved my show. all the time.
Always, man.
And but anyways, and I would, you know, if you hop on tomorrow, you know, that'd be great as well. At least I have somebody to talk to. So I need to try to, I really like to get, like, you know, where more people can come in and, you know, we can have these kind of conversations. So
Get Chris in here one night. He's active in the chat. You can have him in here and talk to him.
oh yeah, Chris, come on. Like, I got a link in the in the description on this video that you can join up if you're not, and then you could be a part of the stream itself. But anyways, once again, Professor, I do appreciate you being with me tonight, and I do look forward to our next conversations. So
Yep.
but
All
right. All right, bud. I'll be catching you later then.
All right, later.
Yeah. All right. So basically, that's how call-ins work. And since really we just had the one, but if I had more, we would have more. And Chris, thank you as well. It was good tuning in. I'll probably be in the podcast tomorrow. Awesome. Yeah, if you're not in the deal yet, Chris, if you're not in my other Discord, be sure to hop in there. But anyways, do appreciate you guys being here. You know, those of you that watch this afterwards, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and then you know, feel free to jump into the Discord. I know the link works. Tested it earlier myself. And hopefully we can have, you know, maybe you could be the next person to be in on the call-ins. So, but until next time,